recording.
Hey y'all, how are you? I am Mary Stewart here. I am your marketing systems coach, and I am here today with Bryce Tubbs. And if you don't know who Bryce is, he's going to tell you.
Hi, I'm Bryce Tubbs. So what I do for you is I help you simplify your business to be able to get you the results that you want, which is going to lead to you having the life that I believe that you deserve. So sorry to interrupt, but my camera's up here and my computer's down here, so my eyes are going to be all over the place, but it's going to be great.
All right. So start wherever you want to start, Bryce. But how'd you get into coaching?
Excellent. Oh yeah, we did forget that last time. So, I've made a lot of mistakes in businesses. This is my 9th business. Okay.
Wow.
I made mistakes from accounting firms, from corporate wellness programs, from e-commerce, affiliates, courses in the past, just multiple business mistakes that you could probably make, whether it's distribution problems, whether it's advertising costs being too expensive, whether it's not knowing my numbers, whether it's not being able to logistically scale. Every mistake that you could probably make, I've made it. And that's why it allows me to be able to help my clients. I help them avoid mistakes and see exactly what they need to do to make it right. How I specifically got into, business coaching was when I first started. When you're younger than everybody else and all the business owners are 50 or 60 years old, everybody just assumes that the person holding a computer is great at, all technology. So they put you in their social media marketing, either the main person doing it or you're on their team doing it. And lucky for me, those first few campaigns really worked out very well. Then I started going after jewelry stores. So jewelry stores in my local area, so I'm like, they're obviously selling higher ticket items, whether it's a ring, whether it's earring, just diamonds, whatever the case might be. I'm like, if we're taking a little piece of, $250 to $500 a month for a jewelry store is not going to be that much, right? But the problem with that is I had to walk around town, I had to drive my car. The person would be there, they wouldn't be there. And it was just a mess. After I ran out of jewelry stores to walk into, where else do you really turn? So in that first spree of running around town, I got a few clients. It was about 2 clients who were jewelry stores. Those went okay. But a little while later, I was just living my life and I got a phone call from one of my friend's parents. She knew a friend who was a therapist who was getting into business, needed a website to get her business going.
Mm-hmm.
You want me to keep going or you want me to?
Sure.
All right, cool. So after we had to get her website, right? I knew that just because you have a website doesn't mean you're going to actually be able to get clients. So the next upsell basically was, let's get your social media going. Next upsell from that was, how do we get all of your content to come together and get you clients? Lucky for that campaign, which was my first one with therapists, we started getting 5 to 10 clients per week relatively quickly for her. And then it was like, I didn't know if we got lucky with that campaign. I don't know if it was just her. Yeah. So then the next thing I did a couple months later was go knock on a door because she was in a therapist guild. So there's always a therapist in the same building. There's multiple therapists. So I knocked on the door, said, hey, I'm doing some work with this lady. We're getting her some results. I don't exactly know if it's going to work for you. So I'm not going to charge you a huge amount of money, but do you want this to go? And he's like, yeah. And I'm still talking because I'm like, I really don't know if it's going to work. I don't want to take this guy's money. He's like, yeah, just take my money, dude. And the rest is history.
Awesome. I like that you did the proof of concept. And you also mentioned that most of that stuff was in your community. Do you work exclusively online now?
I don't work exclusively online. It's more of like an 80-20 split.
Okay.
But the reason why is because in my local community, no matter where I go, there's always a business owner who's known me from the past who wants to throw me some money to help them fix their problems. So I don't think it'll ever be 100% online just for that reason.
Awesome. Speaking of target audiences, what problem do you solve for them?
So I solve a couple of different problems, but it really comes down to helping them reduce the amount of activity they're doing to become more effective and more efficient. For example, if someone's doing 5, 6, 7 different activities, I show them, we take a look at what was working for them in the past or what has worked. And then we say, let's focus on these. Let's learn how to make these things grow a lot faster. Let's start to either phase out the things that are not, or learn how to make those other things not take up as much of our time.
Awesome. So practicing constraint is very important. So what's your vision to scale your business?
So the vision to scale is generally 3 main either products or 3 main services. The first one is an entry-level product where people just come into the funnel. It's not very high entry, and I'm trying to get about 6,000 users for that main entry-level product or products, right? Next level is level 2. So once people get some results from that first entry-level product, they're going to be willing to pay a little bit more money, or at least that's what's happened in the past. So I'm just trying to blow it up on a larger scale. That course is going to be a little bit more high ticket, looking for about 1,500 people to be inside of that. And then for my either mastermind or my joint venture partnerships, I'm looking for about 83 people to be inside of that. That's going to be relatively ultra ticket. But that is my plan for $10 million in revenue in 5 years from now.
Awesome. So I see you looking over at the wall. Do you have it all up there to remember?
Yeah, I have everything kind of written down, just either in the office or in the hallways or in the bedroom, just as many places as possible.
Awesome.
Yeah. But
so set your goals and make it plain.
Yeah.
So how do you describe success?
So for me, success is the ability to make things work and to get momentum in your life.
Okay.
What does that mean? What that means to me is, things are not fun when you're not winning. People, when they start winning, there's more of a glow, there's more of a brightness to them, there's more of a smile, they're more fun to be around, they're not so serious. I do not like being around people who either are not winning or, have not really found momentum, because they're not as fun. They're stressed out. And but that's part of my job, is to be able to help a lot of those people get into that momentum state to start having more fun. And it doesn't, it's not a quick journey, but once you get there, you don't really look back.
Awesome. So part of the process is taking action, consistent action, daily, weekly action. So would you consider that part of the winning process?
Yeah, once you figure out exactly what your strategy is, and then you take consistent action towards that, and exactly, I think me and you talked about this before the interview, that one thing we have in common is that we like helping people understand their strategy. For me, it's more of like the business, accounting, the marketing, the whole aspect. For you, it's the marketing. But yes, that's kind of why I like you, because you're able to help people with their marketing systems, make it extremely plain, and then help them take consistent action,
Absolutely. So what's your favorite tool to make your business run smoother?
My favorite tool, I have a couple. I have Google Sheets. Those are spreadsheets that my virtual assistants can use anywhere in the world, any time of the day, without me having to really check it up. Second one is Google Forms, because it allows me to collect information and integrate stuff with my spreadsheets a lot easier. Third is Canva, which allows me to make video thumbnails and just be really artistic when I need to be. And 4 is Facebook Live videos, because I can just download and cross-post them wherever I need to go.
Awesome. I love cross-posting my Facebook Live videos. I want to go back to spreadsheets, though. So how do you work with clients who, if you kind of give them what they need for spreadsheets and they're like, well, I don't enjoy using spreadsheets. What do you tell them? Or how do you work with them after that?
So generally for me, I like to really work based on what my clients like to utilize. So my coaching program is very adaptive. One of my clients only likes to work for 3 days a week. but I still have to create a plan that allows her to get clients and get results with the time that we have with her, right? Because no matter what she tries to do, something always happens Thursday, Friday, or Monday, Friday. Just she's probably calling that into her life subconsciously. I don't know, but again, with the spreadsheets, if someone doesn't like using spreadsheets, we can try a couple different things. One, I can show them how to use the spreadsheet better. Two, we can work with a virtual assistant to do the spreadsheet for her or the person. Or are you talking about they just don't want to use it or they just don't understand it?
Both. Yes, I like where you're going with this.
Okay, if they don't want to do it, then we can like the virtual assistant, or I can, find an alternative way for them to be able to get the information they need. If they don't know how to use it, I have intensive video documents on how to use it, and stuff like that. Or I walk with them step by step.
Awesome. So earlier you mentioned Facebook Live. So what's your social media platform of choice?
Social media platform of choice would probably be LinkedIn. Second is YouTube.
Oh, wow.
That's
Okay.
weird, right? YouTube?
Yeah.
No one thinks about YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah. So Bryce, my audience is mostly coaches and consultants. And I found that online coaches and consultants, like they grossly underestimate what it takes to position themselves in front of their target audience. So you talked a little bit earlier about finding what's worked for them. What advice would you give them?
Oh, like if they are you talking about if they don't have success yet, what advice would I give them?
Yes, if they
Okay.
don't have.
So first things first, either keep your expenses extremely low when you're first starting out, either your business expenses or your personal expenses. Second, please have some sort of savings in the bank. The worst thing that I see is when coaches are inside of these different groups saying, I need to get a client within the next 2 to 4 weeks, or else I can't pay my bills and I have to go back into corporate America or X amount of things. Because when you start your business, even though it's a coaching business, there's not a lot of moving pieces. It might take you, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. The most I've heard is about a year and 3 months before someone got a client.
Mm-hmm.
But you just don't really know. So you always have to be able to have a little bit of a runway as far as either money in the bank, or if you have to, have a part-time job while you're growing your business and getting it off the ground, so you don't have that financial pressure that other people have. That's really the secret to being able to stay in the game longer until you get that momentum that you need. Some things that people do wrong is they focus on the wrong things when getting started. I was on a consultation call a couple months ago with a woman, and she spent, no offense if anybody's done this, $10,000 on her website / she called it a platform, and only had about $300 left in savings to do any type of marketing.
Wow.
Versus what I would have done if I was going to spend that much money, it would be spending money on getting my message out in front of as many people as possible. $10,000 worth of marketing, that's extremely powerful. So if you're going to spend money, at least spend it on activities that are going to grow your audience, both to, one, get eyeballs, and two, to hold attention of those eyeballs so that they can become fans. Okay? That's the biggest thing. One, get eyeballs. Two, hold attention.
Yeah, and keep those expenses low as you grow. You mentioned YouTube, you mentioned Facebook, so you definitely know the power of video. What's your advice for coaches who are reluctant to use video, especially like introverts? By the way, I'm an introvert.
Yeah, I completely understand, right? It can be nerve-wracking to do either your first video or your second videos, or even the idea of videos in general. Now, videos are very key because it builds a huge sense of trust with your audience, especially if they see 10 or 20 of your videos and you're the same person, through all 10. It really shows that that character / integrity that they're probably looking for when they're trying to make their purchase decisions. But if you're really nervous, you know, I think, let me know if you also have this or if you've experienced this, is one thing that really scares people is that they're going to be judged negatively if someone sees their live video. Is that a thing or no?
That is a thing. When I was still working, I kind of had that, but now I'm like, I'm cool. So I'm an introvert, but I'm not shy.
Is,
So
is another thing that you have that you're going to run out of things to say if you try and go live too many times?
no, I'm a proponent actually for introverts. So I just wanted you to give them some power to go for it as well. I'm
Yeah.
like, let's do it.
I mean, cause your first video is scary. I don't care who you are, especially when it's live, because you might get one or two people coming on, and they might be one of your friends from either your hometown, your parent, and you constantly have this thought of, they're gonna call me out. They're gonna say I'm not this person that I'm pretending to be, or I'm not a huge coach yet, right? Or you're afraid that these people are going to be judging you because now you can actually see the numbers going up as your video is going. And I mean, the first three videos are going to be like that. But then you start to hit this zone where you're like, wow, people are actually nice to me. My friends and families are actually leaving likes. Maybe they think something about me that I didn't know they thought about me. And then it gives you more confidence. And then you start coming out of your shell. And then more introverts start following your channel because they can relate to you. Also, a good tip, if you're an introvert or if you're nervous, tell people before you get on, the interview that you're introverted. One, it'll build connection with your audience because a lot of people are. And two, they're going to be more forgiving. Like when I came on, I said, my camera is up here, my screen's down here. So now that I'm not looking directly at the screen, people probably are not being mean that I'm not doing that. That's it. Any more tips that you want for that one?
I agree that to go ahead and say that you're nervous in the beginning, it makes you more relatable. And perfection is overrated, totally overrated. So show up and be you. And like Bryce said, you may start out wobbly, but with practice, you will get better. And that's with anything, introvert, extrovert, and so on and so forth. Would you agree, Bryce?
I mean, especially if you're like a coach, like if you're too perfect as a coach, like some people might actually be turned off by that, right? And don't let the lack of perfection make you think that it devalues your product.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Bryce, I like to walk my clients through this framework called the 4Ds. It's where you dive into your time to see where all of your time is going and to kind of streamline it, like we've already talked about during the interview. And then do it. Do what only you can do. Delegate or outsource to make your business run smoother, or even your personal life run smoothly, and ditch what's not working. So I have these questions for you, okay? So how often do you dive into your schedule to see what's working?
I like to do a bi-weekly review, so 2 times per week, one during the middle of the week, once at the end.
That's intense. I like it. All right. So tell us about something in your business that only you can do.
Right now, only I can do the coaching, but that's changing very quickly.
And what about the videos? Only you can do those, right?
No. So the reason why I say that is because you would think so, because most coaches and most business coaches are trying to sell off a personality. But in order for me to be able to go hit that goal of 10 million, X amount, it needs to be more of a business than a personality. And that's how you can start to free up more of your time. So very soon you're going to be seeing, for example, maybe in the future, if me and Mary do a joint venture, her videos are going to be funneling people towards my audience, and my video will be funneling towards her audience. So in the future, if we work together in the future, that's really what's going to be. So I don't actually consider it like that.
Awesome. That's a great point of view. That's a great point of view, because I know, like, one of the coaches that I follow, She often mentions like her husband as her business partner to kind of warm her audience up for when they're seeing him.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Especially that's the reason why when we were saying for the coaching, the last thing I said was, for right now, because just like how I help coaches grow their business, I really want to eventually start taking a backseat towards this and basically either working with other coaches to be able to, do the consultation calls or do other things. Everything in my business is going to be outsourced relatively quickly.
Awesome. And that's gonna, like, going back to the vision of it, and like you just mentioned again. So yeah, in order to grow to 8 figures, yeah, you're gonna have to be the visionary and not having your hands in all of the pots. So that's absolutely true. All right. So what actions have you had to ditch in the last 6 months?
To ditch, couple things. One, ditching. So a lot of people do 2 calls, discovery calls and strategy sessions. I stopped doing these discovery calls with people. So if someone gets on the phone with me, it's generally a consultation. Another thing I stopped was doing Instagram and Medium. And Twitter, like posting videos to there. So everything I do now is Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, but everything feeds back into LinkedIn.
Awesome. I really like that. It's very important. So I teach my clients to have kind of like 3 revenue generating activities, but if they dive in and it's not working, doing 3, like if they feel spread too thin, to dial it back. You may have to dial it back to 2 or to even 1 to what's really working if you don't have the bandwidth as you grow it out.
That's a great thing. I think also we talked about outsourcing too, to help them get some more time. That's why I think you're a great coach, because you help people really. We're similar in a lot of ways. So, also for me, outsourcing is a very big thing. But as I find that I'm ditching more things, my virtual assistants are starting to be like, okay, what do we do? What extra things can we do, Bryce?
Yeah.
So would you like me to talk about some things I outsource?
Sure.
Okay. Well, some things I outsource are, I use either tools or I use virtual assistants. So for a tool I use is called Duck Soup right now. All it does is send LinkedIn connections without me having to do it. It's automated. Someone I outsource to would be people doing my direct outreach for me. So all it is just when you connect with someone on LinkedIn, you start a conversation to build a relationship. I am no longer doing that. Also, some residual lead gen. So some of my virtual assistants are doing lead generation for some of my old clients as I kind of phase that out of my model completely. Video introductions and video outros. I'm having those being made right now, outsourced. As we talked about, next phase of outsourcing is video content, video thumbnails, blog posts, and scheduling interviews.
Awesome. All righty. So you mentioned VA, so we'll probably have to get together and have another interview sometimes next week or next year, to talk more about virtual assistants and how you use them in your business, because coaches also they have a hard time pulling in virtual assistants. So I was a nurse for over a decade. So we totally have this delegation thing down pat, right? So some coaches, they are afraid to either clearly communicate for, like you said earlier, fear of judgment and yada yada. So maybe we'll have to have that conversation in the new year.
Okay.
And also we talked a little bit about underestimating what it takes to get clients. So you're a numbers man. So give us some numbers to kind of like ground it so we can know, so my clients can know what they need to be doing when they get out there. Because some people are like posting posts and no one's interacting and they're like, well, I'm not getting anything, or different things like that. So what does engagement look like? How many people should they be talking to?
Okay. So if you're going to be going the content route, right, that is, I want someone to see my content and then I want to go and have them take an action. Well, there's a couple different ways you can do that, right? Some people like to use advertisements, which are called direct response advertisements. Some people like to use groups. Some people like to use friend requests. If you only have 10 people who are watching your videos, or 10 people in your target market watching your videos, well, you only have 10 chances to, make a sale. Your goal always needs to be, how do I go, send out my message to someone and then pull in attention and hold this attention? How do I go put my message out in front of someone and then pull back in attention? A good way for you to do that would be to have people come back to your social media profiles and actually watch your content over a long period of time. So it's not really about how many people are doing it. It's about how many people who are potential buyers are actually going to be seeing your stuff. For example, if I was to restart LinkedIn, right, I would be sending about 100 to 150 connection requests to my ideal target market every single day.
What? 100 to 150 every single day.
Well, yeah, but I'm not manually doing that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my tool can do that.
Okay.
So I don't actually have to do that. So I don't have to think about that. But my audience is constantly being grown. So then what's left for me to do is go start conversations with these different people, either finding out about their problems, their wants, their needs, their hopes, their dreams, whatever the case might be, and then try and get them on a consultation call. Now, that's what you would do at first to go get some momentum going fast. Ideally, what you would do is you would let content lead for you and do all of the marketing for you. But if you only have 100 people on your friend list, or 100 people who even know you exist, you're not going to be getting enough people seeing it to actually make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So the first step, what I would do is go straight to the market, go talk to as many people as possible who are in your target market, try and get them on a consultation, and try and get them to give you money. Once you start being able to do so, then you go and you put out video content, get them to come back to you. I'm sorry if that answer was a little bit long, but that's
great. That's great. I've just been taking notes so I can have follow-up questions.
Oh, okay.
You mentioned going straight to the market. Like, that is where you're gonna get your uncut market research. So if I sent Bryce, like, hey Bryce, I want to do some market research on business coaches, he's gonna tilt his answers just a bit. But if I'm just having an informal conversation with him in his DMs, he's going to give me the answers that I am looking for. You can take those answers and make content from that, right? And you can also build out sales pages and so on and so forth. So the direct message game is golden. Absolutely golden.
Yeah. If you guys want an even killer strategy, I recommend you go ask Mary, or do a consultation call with Mary, because me and her have talked about some of her other strategies, which does not involve having to go straight out to the market. Because when you're going straight out to the market, I would only do that until you get your first 3 to 5 clients. After that, there are some much more magical things that you can do to start getting that attention. Mary has a very great view on one of those ways. I have another view on another one. But everything that works ends up coming together in the end.
Yes. And I'm from Alabama, so there's more than one way to skin a cat, but you've got to stay in the game.
But actually going on a vein, right? The one thing that I like about Mary's and my philosophies on how to actually get your business moving is it's based on tried and true methods. If you ever hear someone shouting, I have a new marketing method, or I have a new secret, they probably don't have any money.
Yeah.
Because there's no track record on it. It's not proven. Right? So, very big thing.
Yes, I like that. All right, so we are coming to the end of the interview. Is there anything else that you want to share with my community? Anything else that you want to get out?
Not really. I don't know. You talking about like where they can find me, or anything?
Oh no, just anything else as far as the interview. We're gonna do some rapid fire right quick, and then we'll talk about where they can find you online.
Okay. No, I think that's good for right now.
All right. So we're gonna do some rapid fire. I'm gonna ask these questions as fast as I can, and Bryce is gonna respond pretty quickly. All right. So, dark chocolate or milk chocolate?
Milk.
Okay. What's your biggest pet peeve?
Consultations with people who don't know anything about me.
Okay. If you weren't in your current industry, what would you be doing?
Accounting firm.
iPhone or Android?
Android.
All right, Android for the win. All right, I just knew you were an iPhone guy.
Guy?
I thought so. Yeah, I always have to defend Android for some reason. All right.
I'll get either one. Man. It doesn't. It's just a tool for me.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being here and for sharing all of your insight with my community. I really appreciate it. So, can you go ahead and tell them where they can find you?
So you guys can type in Bryce Tubbs in LinkedIn or in Google. My name is spelled B-R-Y-C
You're
space.
going in and out, Bryce.
Yeah, I'm going in and out. Can you hear me now?
I can. I just want to make sure that they can find you.
Yeah, I hear like a weird like. Yeah. Okay, cool. So again, Bryce Tubbs, BRYCTUBS. You can find me on LinkedIn, or you can join my group called Growth Strategy.
We didn't have this problem during the interview, so can you get a little bit closer because you were still going in and out?
Can you hear me?
Yes, very clear.
So you can't hear me very clear now.
You were going in and out. That's weird. It only started.
Yeah, that's weird. They don't want me to be found. I'm Bryce Tubbs. My name can be found right here, BRYCTUBS, or you can find me on LinkedIn.
All right, and I am going to put all this information under wherever you find this video information. And of course, I am Mary Stewart. Thank you, people, so much for tuning in. And you can find my guide to help you go from having an inconsistent experience to actually getting clients with 5 excellent marketing strategies. The link will be below all of our videos. Well, thank you so much, Bryce.
You're welcome. Thanks so much for having me on. Bye. 3, 2, 1.